welcome to another Propagandacast Addendum with me, your host, Imperial Dane, my wonderful and handsome viewers. We're over here today to look to the new latest Commander additions here to come news two free commanders, by the way. We are looking at Lease Tactics here. A nifty little addition here to the Soviets. Adds in a Dushka heavy machine gun, allied supply drops, which basically is for 100 munitions. You get somewhere between 20 to 40 fuel, which you can drop in your base. You also get conscript repair kits. In that regard, it's a bit similar maybe to the Advanced Warfare. You get a half-track assault group, a bit similar to the 250 assault groups of the Germans. So you get a full half-track with machine gun, and you get a full guard squad with PP-840s and SVTs. It says anti-tank rifles, but those are actually semi-automatic rifles. That's probably a slight mistake there. And then finally you get the M4C Sherman, a 76mm armed Sherman tank, ready to face your opponent's armor and be upgraded with a 50 caliber. Overall, it's actually a quite handy little commander. It can be used to sort of support different styles of play. Actually, I mean, for example, if you might be sort of going for a sort of special rifle command, maybe something for a mechanized armor company, it can support you. The heavy machine gun can serve as protection versus light vehicles versus infantry, and then afterwards you can have the M4C Sherman serve as a tank to sort of support your assault guns or tank destroyers. Plus you got the half-track group there, a bit expensive, but on the other hand, then you can still get a half-track out to support your troops, plus you get a guard squad. So in that regard, it's really a good commander for that way supporting you. You can also then use to sort of augment your already made playstyle with, say, for example, a support weapon company and then tank with battalion command, and then throwing in the M4C Shermans to sort of add some punch between your T-34s. As an example, I mean, you can sort of basically different plays. I mean, it's overall a good support commander. It can be used to augment different kinds of strategies and play styles. So overall, I mean, I can easily recommend this to most certain players. Of course, since it's free, I mean, you can basically try it out, and if it's not your way, you know, don't bother. But overall, not a bad one. Then we get the German commander, the mobile defense one. He's a bit more interesting. He gets counter-attack tactics, which allows you to take territory much faster when it's neutral. I mean, well, now to, for example, clear opponents faster, but once it's taken or cleared out to neutral, you can seize it much faster. It costs 45 munitions, so you have to sort of be a bit judicious in it, but at the same time can now sort of quickly shift terrain in your favour. Pan-Tactician, no need to talk about that. Ostrom reserves a bit of a particular ability to get two Ostrom squads with varying veterancy, and they can come with light machine guns, so sometimes you might get something great, or you can end up with two Ostrom squads which you basically have paid too much for. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but on the other hand, if you quickly need some firepower, it can work out for you. Then we get the 234 Puma armoured car, with a 50mm cannon. It's alright for sort of harassing armor, vehicles and such. It can't really withstand a lot of hits, and it's not really something you want to sort of attack head on with, but supporting, dealing with light armor and such, it's not half bad. Once it gets a bit of veterancy, I think you can also do alright against infantry. So overall, decent piece of work. And of course you get the command tank, which can sort of be used to support things with, provide bonuses for defenses, which of course can also be used to augment your Pumas, and of course blast infantry to bits with its low velocity stubby gun. It doesn't quite have the same level of utility, I would argue, as the Lend-Lease commander. I'm still a bit unsure about it, but I mean, it does have its use, and it's certainly popular with some players. It's probably something you'd use, you know, to sort of harass your opponent quite nicely with. I'm not sure how it would be useful in that defensive mode, but I mean, it would probably be more useful than some of the other defensive commands to a certain extent. I mean, it's certainly one that sort of offers a bit more of a, well, not specific playstyle, sort of more that can be used to sort of quickly get some units you need here and there, and of course all units sort of have some kind of purpose. Again, the Ostrom reserves and the Puma I'm a bit unsure about as such, but I mean overall it's an interesting commander, but it doesn't quite have the same level of just get in there kind of utility that Lend-Lease has. But that's not to say it's complete rubbish, but it's not one I would as easily recommend as the other one. It's definitely a bit more tricky, I think. Though, mind you, if you do go for Pumas, don't go just blindly spamming them, as they can end up biting in the after your opponent hits you with the right counters. So that is also something to keep in mind. But overall, not a bad commander, but not necessarily something as easy to recommend and just say get in there with. But hopefully with this, you've gotten a bit of a clear idea of the new commanders, how you might be able to use them, and what thoughts you might want to use them in if you haven't sort of decided already. Of course, feel free to comment and discuss this between yourselves. You know, you might have some other thoughts. Would certainly be fun to hear them. Anyways, this is Imperial Dane saying cheers and thanks for watching. See you another time.